I think one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people having issues with, myself included, is the grass is greener on the other side syndrome, where let's say you have a job and you think, oh, my job is okay, it sucks, but I know that I can find a better opportunity out there. Or someone who runs a business, the shiny object syndrome that everyone talks about, where, oh, I'm starting a business, but oh, that business looks a lot better. Oh, this person's making a whole lot of money. Let me jump to that business and let me start that. What I think is almost even bigger, which I don't really see too many people talking about, is the relationship grass. The grass is greener on the other side. You're like, oh, this person that I'm with is good, but I know that I could find someone perfect. And if I can just find that person, then the grass would be even greener and it would be even nicer. But I kind of take a slightly different approach where I don't think grass is just green on its own. You actually need to nurture your grass and you need to water it and you need to plant maybe some mulch so it looks good and some flowers and some trees so your grass turns into a lawn, which turns into a mini little ecosystem of forest, and you could even plant some whatever you want because you are taking care of your grass, using the same analogy. Whereas people just think things get instantly better if they're in a different environment, where it's not the environment that takes you from A to B or A to Z. It is you that impacts that environment. If you go into an ecosystem, regardless of what it's like, it is, if you were the exact same person, then you were going to think the exact same way when you get into that new environment. My mom was telling me that there was someone who was just trying to leave her job, which she's a dental hygienist, so she would clean people's teeth. And there was another person, they make decent money, who they were going to go to a different office after being there for 5 to 10 years. And I said, well, why? And apparently this lady is frequently late to work because she's kids, whatever. But her boss is quite lenient with her being late to work. But one day she called out and didn't really have too much of an explanation. And the boss said, okay, well, why weren't you here? You didn't really give a good explanation. And she was just like, oh my God, this sucks, blah, 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 blah. And that lady left and worked for someone else. And she's my mom's friend. And then she was saying, oh my God, this new boss is so bad, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because she was the problem. You shouldn't be going late to work. You shouldn't be calling out. If you have obligations, you should make sure you take care of those things beforehand. So in that case, she is the problem. I'm just going to pick on this lady. I don't even know who she is. There are those same types of people in relationships who say, oh, wow, I just can't find a good guy, or I just can't find a good girl. Or is the problem you, that you don't attract the kind of person that you were looking for? Same thing with business, because that is all I think about all day, every day. Is it your business that sucks, or is it the person running it who sucks? Is it your product, which is ran by you? And I've heard so many people, which drives me crazy, who are entrepreneurs who are making lots of money, who say, my employees, this suck. They don't work hard. They don't do this and that and that. I've heard this time and time again because I'm fortunate where I'm usually hanging out with the owners of the businesses. And usually the guys who never get past a few $1,000,000 per year, they are complaining about their employees. Whereas the people who are a lot larger, they realize that it is their inability to hire well, or to motivate, or to properly incentivize their employees to want to work hard. That is a completely different thing. If you are running a great business with a great company culture, incentivizing through some sort of payment structure and knowing that your product is actually providing service to people, employees are actually excited to go to work, and they're excited to work and provide value for the company. It's the leaders and the founder's job and the CEO to make that happen. Whereas the smaller people, and I've heard this, I used to say this, that my employees just don't want to work hard. No, it's dumbass. I'm talking to myself, my past self here. It's you. You're the reason why they don't want to work hard, you freaking buffoon. So I like to look at things where I take full accountability for everything. Even if it's not really my fault, I will still usually take the blame. I just take 100% personal accountability for anything that happens in my life because I'm so disgusted by the victimhood Olympics that we see, because people are proud almost to be victimized in some way, shape, or form, that they had a struggling childhood, or they can't make it because they are X, Y, or Z reason, because the man is against them. That is the most stupid argument. And I can promise you that the grass is usually not greener. Most people don't realize how good they have it. The position that they're in is usually pretty darn good. It's just easier to see a negative outlook on things. It's just the way that human beings are wired. You are wired to see problems so you can get out of that situation or you can potentially solve it. It is not as easy as a human being from a biological standpoint to see things that are going right because from a innate position, why would your body need to react when things are going good? They just don't. They only really need to go and react when things are being bad. That's when your body starts to kick up in gear because it is trying to run away from bad. And it is always searching for those bad things. So as society progresses, and maybe we're no longer running from tigers or trying to no longer be hunted and killed, we are just finding different problems. Like our work environment is not as the most ideal situation. So we find that in just our body wants to get away from it. And it makes sense because you always are going to have the same amount of problems, they just change. I just think we need to have slightly more self accountability for just about everything. Anyway, I've been drinking way too much this weekend. I hardly ever drink, maybe once every few months, but my girlfriend and mom were in town. I was at the Waste Management or Phoenix Open, where there's, you're surrounded by people just handing you unlimited alcohol. So I've been drinking too much. I got to get back on track tomorrow. I'm excited to actually have a full work day. My girlfriend and mom just left. I actually think I came to this realization when I was drunk because I heard someone complaining about their employees. And that just made me think, just because they kind of use that the grass is greener on the other side analogy prior in the day. And it made me think, you just need to nurture your grass. And I think that makes a lot of sense, especially in relationships. And that the relationships is your spouse, it is also the employees, your work environment. You have to nurture those things. Nothing is just instantly amazing. If it was, life would be a whole lot easier, but it's simply not. You actually have to put in effort to get some sort of reward. I guess that's a groundbreaking discovery these days. But anyway, I'm still buzzed because I took my mom and girlfriend out to dinner and we were slamming down martinis. I'm a little pussy and I drink girl drinks if I go out. Anyway, I don't even know. I kind of forget what this video is about because I'm still a little buzzed. Anyway, goodbye.